Good evening, you're tuned into Bizworld. Malaysia is expected to save up to 7 billion ringgit by 2030 by using biomass pellets as a national energy source. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Sri Fadillah Yusof said the use of biomass pellets produced from recycled organic waste can reduce dependence on imported coal.
Whether we have enough feedstock ataupun tidak. Kalau semua orang dah bubut, nak buat baja daripada situ, nak buat makanan haiwan daripada situ, nak buat tenaga dari situ, harga akan naik. Takut tak cukup. Lama-lama tak cukup, orang akan tebang pokok. Curi pokok nak untuk produce. So we do not want that to happen. So that's why di bawah kementerian kita, apa yang kita katakan buat ladang hutan.
The government also launched the National Biomass Action Plan 2023 to 2030, which is expected to increase investments in the biomass industry to 3 billion ringgit by 2030, creating over 3,000 job opportunities. The action plan also aims to establish biomass hubs in 20 locations, including Kuantan, Pahang, and Gua Musang, Kelantan. Malaysia's GDP growth rate is expected to improve to 4.7% next year, supported by the recovery of external trade and sustained growth in domestic demand. Head of MIDF Research Imran Yassin Mat Yusof also sees the ringgit to recover and appreciate to 4 ringgit 20 sen against the US dollar.
Main concern is, of course, inflation and growth. So inflation at 3.2%, it's still in a way manageable in that sense. The CPI, I think maybe Maurice can talk a bit about the core inflation as well. But the ringgit with a strengthening mode, that should be good in that sense. It should in a way control inflation as well.
Commodity prices are expected to remain stable next year, with crude palm oil to average 3,600 ringgit per ton. FBMK LCI is also forecast to grow 12.3% to 1,665 points in 2024. However, inflation rates would likely hover above 3% next year amid the rollout of targeted fuel subsidies. Overall, the global economy growth would remain moderate, below the average of 3.8%. Meanwhile, Malaysia's overnight policy rate OPR may remain unchanged at its current level, despite the U.S. Federal Reserve's interest rate cuts. According to Socio-Economic Research Center Executive Director Lee Heng Gui, although Malaysia is unlikely to mirror the U.S. in lowering rates, the country still needs to remain vigilant on the global economy.
But I think we still have to be mindful about the developments in the global economy, as global economy for next year will still be quite moderate. It's not at the moment, no one expects a recession, global recession, but the growth will still be moderate, and we have to watch out on the US economy.
Lee also anticipates that core inflation will fluctuate between 2.8 and 3.5% next year. He added the looming risk of a U.S. recession introduces uncertainty into the conditions for Malaysia next year. Additional risks to the global economy encompass a potential deceleration in China, attributed to challenges in its property market, along with uncertainty surrounding the trajectory of interest rates. Moving on, the airline industry's net profit is expected to reach 25.7 billion US dollars in 2024. According to International Air Transport Association, IATA, 4.7 billion people are expected to travel next year, a historic high that exceeds pre-pandemic levels. The industry's operating profit is expected to reach 49.3 billion US dollars, with total revenue to grow 7.6% year on year. However, expense growth is expected to be slightly lower at 6.9%. Passenger yields in 2024 are expected to improve by 1.8% compared to this year. Meanwhile, cargo volumes are expected to be 58 and 61 million tons in 2023 and 2024, respectively. And that's all the time we have for Bizworld. I'm Sabrina Zainal. Keep tuning into TV3.